Thanks for joining me. This is Danny, and welcome back to my RealTech series. Today we're going to be doing some power upgrades with immersive engineering. We're going to make the immersive engineering diesel generator and power it with the petroleum, or the gasoline and diesel that we got from immersive petroleum. And then we're going to be playing around a little bit with the automated redstone mod in order to control the diesel generator and get it to turn on and off when we want it to. Doing some redstone, some kind of sort of complicated redstone circuitry with automated redstone. So we'll take a little time to kind of take a look at what building circuits is all about in that mod, and then we'll build one for this and get it up and running. The idea will be that the diesel generator will turn on when we are low on power, and then it will turn off again when we have a sufficient amount of power, but always leaving a little bit of a buffer for our renewable energy sources so that we can take advantage of those and not use a whole bunch of not renewable energy sources, which also create pollution. So this is what we're building today. First of all, it's the diesel generator. Normally, I've built this in the past, and we've used biodiesel to power it. That's the normal kind of vanilla immersive engineering way of powering this thing, is with biodiesel. We are actually working with immersive petroleum, so we're going to be using that to power it. And we're going to need all of these blocks in order to do it. So actually, if we look in here, we'll see all the blocks we need. I've got an X next to all of them. We've got them all. It was expensive. It was very expensive. I think I used, I think it was about 2 stacks of steel. I'm going to use the projector from immersive petroleum. We placed that in a crafting grid with our engineer's manual when we had it open to the page of the thing that we want to make. So it is now a diesel generator projector. And then we have to decide. So I'm going to put it back in this corner. I've decided. Whoa. Crap. I'm going to put it back in this corner. I've decided just because we've got a chimney back here already, because this thing does produce, of course, in this pack we have pollution of the realms. This thing does produce a fair amount of pollution. I'm going to need the redstone control. Oh, wait. So we middle click to rotate it. There we go. I'm going to need the redstone control on this side. The radiator is there. The power output is going to be, actually, let's look at this. So the power output is here. The radiator is in the back. So actually, I probably want to turn this around so that, so if we shift middle click, then it'll flip. Well, it'll do that. It'll flip it. And if we just middle click, it'll rotate it. So there. So now we've got the redstone. So that red thing that you see there is the redstone engineering port. That's where we're going to turn it on and off. And the yellow blocks, or the orangish blocks in the front, are where we're going to be putting power into it. So I'm just going to clear up my inventory of most of the stuff so that we can easily, oh, actually we have to keep the projector in the inventory. So we have used this projector quite a few times. That's why I didn't really get into detail of how to use it. We've used it in the immersive petroleum video and in a few other videos. Okay. So these guys required steel. The obviously the steel scaffolding required steel. Everything, actually just about everything. The generator blocks required steel. This is a very steel. Okay. I might need to change this situation here a little bit. Okay, let me out. Okay. All right. The redstone engineering block. And then those are all heavy engineering blocks. Now these also require a fair amount of steel and iron. I actually had to go mining for steel and coal. I mean, not steel, for iron and coal, because I use so much iron and coal in the production of steel. And then there's also a lot of other things that we need iron for in this build. So I did that between episodes. Let me finish this radiator block first. Oh, and it's touching the chimney. Okay, that's good. Eventually, we're going to be pulling the pollution out through the bottom of this so that we can put it in a greenhouse, but we're not quite there yet. There we go. So it's green. We do end up with an extra heavy engineering block because they are made in pairs of 2, and we needed an odd number, and the same with the radiator blocks. So let's put this stuff back in here, and then we right click this thing, right? Okay, I really need to get a covered conveyor belt there or something. Ta-da! Bad for the environment. And in this mod pack, that is actually true because it does emit a considerable amount of pollution. So, I get coal coke in my inventory. Oh, I bet some coal coke came out of there. And I need to get these conveyor belts covered. So this is the diesel generator. It has, it produces 4,096 RF per tick maximum. It only runs when it has a source of fuel, obviously, and it has a place to put power. It does not have a power buffer of its own. So as soon as whatever you're powering is full, it will just stop running. This is where we input the fuel. There's actually one on both sides. We really only need one side. And this is the... Actually, let's just put a lever on that for now. I don't have any levers with me. Okay, so this is the redstone thing. We're going to put redstone on that with the lever at first, but eventually we'll be setting up an automated redstone thing here to control this guy. And that's it. Oh, and the power comes out the top. So there's actually 3 power ports. The 4096 is actually the maximum that a high voltage could... actually, let's take a look at that. So... basic wiring. So the high voltage has a maximum throughput of... The connectors have a maximum throughput of 4096, so we could do one high voltage thing on here. The medium ones have 1024, so theoretically we could put 3 on there and get 3/4 of the power out of it. The cables can carry a lot more than that. So what we need to do then is we need to pipe in the diesel from our tank that's outside. We'll just run the pipes underground and bring them up over here. We can actually put scaffolding around them when they come out of the ground so that we don't just have a hole there. And then we need to pull power from this, but I don't want that power going into this, obviously, for one, because it's a low voltage wire relay, and 2, I want it to go into our capacitor banks over here. So we're going to have like another kind of network of wires up here. It's going to be a mess. I crafted a bunch of stuff that I need. I actually made another medium voltage capacitor just so that we have a little bit more RF storage. I already had to, I'm moving them because we're going to need a little bit more space. So I'm going to have this one output to the top. And then I'm going to set one of these up here. That one's already full. What is that one doing on the top? That one's outputting on the top. That's what we want. We are going to put a low voltage capacitor. So I made myself some high voltage stuff. This is the first time that we're getting into high voltage wiring now. I made the relays, which require aluminum, the high voltage connectors, which also require aluminum, and then these coils, which require steel and aluminum. So things are starting to get a little expensive now. I wanted to make a high voltage capacitor, but it required more lead than I have. I haven't really needed lead for anything, so I haven't been digging lead out of anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use... We had this energy valve set up here. Oh, this goes the other way. We have this energy valve set up from automated redstone. This is one of the first things that we've done with the automated redstone mod, which basically outputs a redstone signal based on how much power is going through it. And then we have this LED screen also from automated redstone, which will tell us how much redstone this thing is outputting. So this is just so that we can see how much flow of power that we've got going through here. And then this low voltage capacitor is going to be our input, basically. So that one is going to be outputting into this energy valve, and then this medium voltage capacitor is going to pull it in, and then it's going to go up to this low voltage capacitor. So this guy, if we hold down shift, then we can change the input output on the opposite side. So if we look in one probe, it says no connection. I right click, it says input. That's what we want. On this side, it's input also if I'm holding down shift. So that means the other side, the side opposite the block I'm looking at, is input, and now it's output. So this should empty then into here, and we can see that right now we are doing 256. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to have two connectors connected to this capacitor. We're going to have a low voltage connector, which is going to be pulling power from all of our low voltage sources over here. I'm going to put, let's put that there. Get our insulated low voltage. Actually, I have one uninsulated one. I'll just use that from there to there because we won't really be touching that. There to there, there to there, and then from there to there. So now we've got power going. Oh no! Now we have to set this side to input blue. Actually, this side we can make clear, and we can clear the bottom for now. So the outside or the top side is also going to be input. 245. Oh, you're right. Okay. So we're producing 245 RF per tick at the moment because of all of our various things, and it's filling up this capacitor bank. I kind of want to stop that from happening so that we can see so we can watch the power throughput, because I think we've got enough power here to last us for some time. So I want to see the power throughput for this. So now I'm going to hook up the power to this before I give it any fuel, because these high voltage relays are very, very dangerous. There are no insulated high voltage. Oh, actually that is a relay. We don't want that there. We want a connector there. And then we're going to need high voltage wires. So these high voltage cables, if you touch them, they hurt. They hurt a lot. In fact, they could almost kill you in one hit. I have a lot of hearts, so it probably won't kill me in one hit, but it may come pretty close. So right now these guys aren't going to hurt because there's no power running through them. But there's our high voltage wire connector. If you like right click on that thing, oops. If you right click on it while there's power running through it, it'll hurt you. So like when we do this, when we connect a wire to it, it'll hurt. So we don't want to do that. We want to avoid that. These guys have a longer range, but I'm going to have the first wire go directly up. Actually, you know what? I'm going to have it come over here because we're going to be running redstone wires on this side. We're going to have a lot of wires in here. It's going to be a big, big wiry mess. Okay, there. So we want to make sure that these things are high enough that we're not going to touch them when we walk. I mean, we can still jump and touch them. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we have got plenty of room. So we're going to put, we have plenty of range. We're going to put that there. We are going to put a relay. So again, I don't want this thing to be like hanging out. So I'm not going to, connect it directly from there to there, because then there'll be a wire hanging here that could kill us. So I'm just going to put another relay. I wonder, can we put one under the conveyor belt? We can. It looks a little silly though. But if I put one there, it's going to cut that wire. So I guess we're going to have to deal with a silly looking thing. So there's that. There's that. So I don't know if I mentioned already. I think I did. There are no insulated high voltage wires. Like high voltage wires are always dangerous. So like these guys, these low voltage wires are insulated, so we don't have to worry about them hurting us. So there we go. It's a lot of wiring. So now all we got to do is get some power into this guy. And what I'm going to do, get some, not power, get some. If we give this a redstone signal, it will not work. So that's what we're doing now. I'm going to turn that off. And then I've got pipes running underground. I dug under there and made a big mess underground, hooking into our one of our tanks out there. We'll look at it in a second, but first let me just finish hooking this up so that I can jump out of here. Oh crap. I can't jump high enough. Okay, and then actually I'm going to take a steel scaffolding just so that it doesn't look quite like there's a hole in the ground. But you can cover up the pipes with the steel scaffolding. They'll still connect through, but that looks a lot better than having a hole. And then as soon as I hook this thing up, it will have gasoline available to it. Now I'm using gasoline. Well, I'll talk about the different fuels in a second and why we're allowed to use gasoline, because normally you can't. So I'm turning the redstone signal off. We should have gasoline going in. Oh, no, we don't. Okay, so let's take a look outside here. So I've got, from Immersive Petroleum, I have 3 different fuels out here. We've got diesel. Now, this is normally what you would use in the diesel generator is diesel. However, in this particular pack, and this is not the default behavior, in this particular pack, Immersive Petroleum is giving us Pneumaticraft gasoline, not Immersive Petroleum gasoline. Pneumaticraft gasoline can be used in the diesel generator, and it produces a little bit less pollution, and we also get a little bit more of it. So that's why I'm using that. And we can actually make gasoline out of the diesel, so this is going to be kind of our final, like, end-of-the-line fuel right here. So that's what I'm using. Well, here's where I dug down to get the pipes under there. There's a hole under there. There's a pipe under this fluid tank. We do have to turn this redstone signal on in order for it to output. As soon as I do, the diesel generator should actually kick in. It didn't. I found some galena. This is lead. And pair it up. This is lead and silver, mostly lead. And this is what I need because I'm going to make a high voltage capacitor bank. This is a really big vein. I'm in the middle. Like, I broke a block up here. That was the highest block, so this is about the middle of it. So this is what we're looking at right now is 1/4 of the vein. And of course I already mined out a bunch of this. So yeah, we're set. We're set for lead. And actually what else is really cool is we are right in the middle of the village right now. If we look at journey map, we're right here underneath the delivery man houses. We're going all the way here. High voltage capacitor. This is going to have quite a bit more capacity too, which would be nice. So we want to input into the top, and then we were also inputting over here, input, and then we are shift outputting on that side. Okay. Oh wow, this is out of power. Okay, so high voltage capacitor on top, and let's see what happens when we make this connection. Now this thing is really loud, so we won't necessarily be able to tell. Actually, let me just turn that off. When we give this a redstone signal, it turns it off. Unless we invert that. We can actually hit it with a hammer to invert it so that it will only work when it has a redstone signal. We might be doing that. I can't remember exactly how I was going to set up the circuit, but we'll see that very, very shortly. Okay, so that's all connected. Oh boy, we might need to raise the roof in here a little bit. I lost a lot of hearts walking through there. It hangs down too low here that I end up touching it. So I must have something going wrong with my piping or something, because I've got a tank of gasoline here, and when I pipe it into there, it works fine. Yep. Sure enough. I found a gap in the pipe right here. So it's probably running right now, but it won't be for long because that power buffer is going to fill up pretty quickly. So let's hurry up. Yep, it's running. Yay! So now if we... Oh my god. God darn it. So if we just leave this thing go, it'll run until it fills this thing up, and it will stop automatically. However, it'll just keep this thing full. So as our power runs out, it's going to like run for a split second every so often. We don't really want that because then we're not taking advantage of our renewable energy. So we're going to be doing a little bit of automated redstone in order to control that. But before I do, I need to figure out what I'm going to do about this, because that is a dangerous situation that almost killed me twice now, and I have to go get some more first aid. Now that I understand the full implications of high voltage wiring nowadays, I am going to do something a little bit different here. So I am running this outside. So I'm doing this little trick again where we have a connector on either side of a block, and if you right click on it, it turns it into a multi-block, which allows power to pass through. And then I'm going to connect it all the way up there. And then I'm going to just run it around the building. Way, way up high. Because, you know, that's what you're supposed to do with high voltage, right? Okay. And then into there. This one is going to be a little bit dangerous inside here. Okay, so we have to hit that with a wrench. And then... Okay. So everything should be hooked up. There's actually one way for me to find out. Oh no. So something must not be right, because that should hurt me. I think. Okay, so now that's full. That's not. Okay, yes, it hurts me. It's funny that the generator kicks in after I hit the wire. Like, it's actually sending enough power into my body that it causes the generator to kick in. So hooray! That's all set up, and it's relatively safe as long as we just stay out of that area. I might put a caution block there or something. So this episode ended up being quite a bit longer than I had anticipated, so I'm splitting it into two. So we will be doing the automated redstone in the next episode, which I am currently editing, but you can see the results behind me. So we'll be doing some sophisticated redstone control in a single block with automated redstone in the next episode. I hope you join me for that. If you have any questions, comments, ideas, or whatever, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And of course, if you did enjoy this, don't forget to click the like button and to join me next time. Thanks for watching.